Hi, this lesson 9 is all about adjectives, and some of us know that adjectives are describing words, and sometimes I'm going to use this word modifier. And there's a lot of different uses for adjectives in our written work. So this is a long lesson, and I'm going to be asking you to, stay with me, maybe not complete it all at once, because there's a lot of activities that call upon our knowledge of linking verbs, and then they throw some new information at us in the end, like complements and predicate adjectives, predicate nouns. So you may want to break this lesson into a couple of 30-minute sections. So let's start. And on your screen, you see that adjectives are basically words that modify a noun or a pronoun. And as you know, they always start very easy. So if you want to pause your screen just for refreshers, as you see these examples in the frame above, go right ahead. I'm going to start in on activity 1. Which asks you to find the adjective and then underline the adjective and draw an arrow from the adjective to the noun it modifies. So you just need to write those two words and link them with an arrow, as you see in the example above. Okay. I want to also mention that the placement of adjectives, it usually comes before the word it modifies. But in some cases, it does come after, as you see in examples 3 and 4. The lifeguards were busy. Children in the water felt happy. We're going to find later that we use those things called linking verbs if we're going to have the adjective follow the subject that it modifies. In activity 2, we're going to do all 10. And this one is just asking you to find the 2 or more adjectives. And just like we did in activity 1, drawing an arrow from the adjective to the noun or pronoun it modifies. Remember, it can have more than one in each sentence. In parentheses, it says don't include the article. So you do want to omit words like or the or an. Activity 3, we're going to skip, as well as activity 4, for reasons I don't have to tell you. This is just a word scramble and then talking about, word cars and making sentences. So as far as the skill set, we're going to move on to activity 5. Okay, now activity 5 is a little tricky. They want you to look at the italicized word, and if it's used as a noun, write N on the line. If it's used as an adjective, write ADJ period. So pause your screen and complete all 5 activities, both A and B. Remember, we had one like this in the past. You need to study the word and how it's used in the sentence. This little mini lesson here is all about proper adjectives, and just like proper nouns, we have a capital letter because it refers to a country, a city, a region. So I believe there are 5 questions in activity 6 that I would like you to complete. And they want you to draw an arrow from the adjective to the noun it modifies. Remember your capital letters. Okay. Activity 7, oops, can we fit it all in? Yeah, almost. Activity 7 asks you to take this idea of the proper noun forming a proper adjective and then writing them in. For activity 7, please only do the even numbers only, okay? 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Activity 8, I'm going to ask you to skip. It's just taking the italicized expression and using an adjective in its place. We're going to have plenty of practice in this. Skip activity 8. Let's move on to 9. Okay, in activity 9, we're going to do the 5 activities, and they're just saying, sometimes in our writing we have redundant adjectives, two words that really mean the same thing, and we're always trying to make our writing more concise and meaningful. So please write out the redundant adjective on your lines 1 through 5. This lesson here is on predicate adjectives and predicate nouns, okay? So sometimes we just need a subject and verb in a sentence, like in the examples we have. Sandy waved, snakes hiss. But in other sentences, sometimes it's not enough, and we use a linking verb sometimes, and it just doesn't really fill the sentence with meaning. Sandy seems ... or snakes are ... So those are linking verbs, words that have sensory images. They seem, appear, they smell, they touch, or forms of the verb to be, are, is, were, might be, etc. So in those kinds of sentences that you see in the bottom of your screen, we need to add a complement to the linking verb. So the complement, there's practice here. A complement is a word that completes a sentence with a linking verb. So instead of Sandy seems, we might add the word friendly. That's called a complement of the linking verb seems. In activity 10, they've given you a word bank, and they would like you to, okay, we can get all 10 here. In activity 10, they want you to complete each sentence by writing a suitable complement. You're going to find that their word bank is pretty clear in which word goes in which blank. Remember, these are linking verbs, and they need this thing called a complement. So choose it from the following list and use each one only once. You're going to do all 10. Okay, after you've done 10, remember that you use the 10 complements to complete these 10 linking verbs. And you've been using those complements all your life, even if you weren't aware of it. There are two kinds of complements, and we're going to study two of them in these next couple of sections. One is called the predicate adjective, and the other one is called the predicate noun. So these two things are called the subject complements, and we're going to look really closely at the first one, which is a predicate adjective. Really, all it is a sentence that has a linking verb and an adjective that follows. At the bottom of your screen, you see a sentence that says, the sauce smells spicy. The word spicy is an adjective, and it goes back to the word sauce. Smells is not just any verb, it's a linking verb, because it's like that equal sign that I was telling you. Percy was honest, okay? The word honest goes back to Percy. The word was is a linking verb. So activity 11, you are going to be doing all 10. And yep, I knew it. The word activity 11 is cut off. But you're going to be doing these 10. You want to underline the linking verb, and then circle the predicate adjective and draw an arrow from it to the noun or pronoun. The examples A and B are really clear. A says, your plans seem ambitious. Well, the verb seem is your linking verb, right? Ambitious is your predicate adjective, and it goes back to plans. So do these 10, and I'll see you on activity 12. Activity 12 is going to be about something called predicate nouns. So we learned about predicate adjectives. Those are the complements that are an adjective that are used with linking verbs. Predicate nouns completes a linking verb and identifies it with the subject of the linking verb. So instead of giving an adjective that links it back, now it's a noun. So an example here, the winner was a sophomore. Okay, that word was is a linking verb, and so it links winner with sophomore. Sophomore is a noun, not an adjective, so that's why it's called the predicate noun. So in your exercises, you're going to be drawing the arrow from the noun to the word that is its complement. Okay, Another example here is Mark is a journalist. Is, of course, is your linking verb. The predicate noun journalist goes back to Mark. And here's activity 12, okay? So the 10 examples that you're going to do ask you to underline or write out the linking verb and then circle the predicate noun and bring an arrow back to the subject it identifies. This is our last activity for lesson 9, which is adjectives. If you have to break it into 2 chunks of work, that's fine, because I know it's a lot of new terminology and a lot of new skills for you. Okay, this ends lesson 9.